Louisiana versus all y'all. Jarrett Roser here with Catholic High running back George Hart III, getting ready for his senior year and also starting to kind of dip in some more to the recruiting aspect of his football career. We're just a few days removed from that Dog Combine event where George and the guys had a chance to get out there and get some measurements, run through some drills, and get some of that information out to some colleges because it has been an incredibly weird off season, and it's one that I know y'all have been trying to figure out how to best navigate. What's been going on, man? I know we just saw each other a couple days ago, but we wanted to have a little bit longer of a conversation about how things have been. What's been up, other than getting a chance to get out there on Friday?
We just been having practice, same thing, like meetings, going out, still putting in work, just trying to make it as normal as possible with everything going on.
For you, I guess we'll kind of start in the beginning. You're a guy that we've had a chance to see make some plays in that backfield for Catholic already, but you had two seniors at the position last year and Josh Parker and Braelen Morgan, who are both off to be D1 guys now. And so it was kind of tough. It was almost like wait your turn, pick your spots, and this year is a year that the expectations and the opportunity and the role are there in a much bigger way. As you get to March and things start to get crazy, what is that like? What are some of the kind of initial feelings and the conversations with, you and your teammates, you and your family, you and your coaches as you try and figure out, okay, with COVID-19 now in play, what does this offseason look like?
Well, for me personally, like, of course, like, I'm a little nervous going into it's my senior season. I have to get, I know I have a big role to fill in. But I was talking with my dad, and like we knew that I had like a big spot to go into next year. So, we just started working, like fixing my weaknesses, trying to make sure I'm like at my potential when the time and the opportunity rolls around for me to, do what I have to do. So there's nothing like nothing, no missed opportunities for me.
Sure. Kind of the you don't if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready sort of thing. And what did some of that work look like? What were some of the things that as you got started working on some drills on your own, or I mean you and dad, before we could kind of get back to more of a team atmosphere, what were some of the things that you had in mind that you wanted to focus on? Any sort of drills that were kind of real consistent ones in your routine or anything like that?
But mainly like getting faster feet. So like faster feet, hand blocking. Those like the main things you like were focusing on, just knowing what I would have to be doing. I was trying to be like an all around back, making sure I can do everything and not have as we like have weaknesses. So like just focusing on like smaller details that I probably would have missed if I wouldn't have taken the time to look at it.
Yeah, and you mentioned the blocking aspect. That's, I think, one of the first things that we look at when guys get to college that potentially takes a running back a little longer to get into that consistent playing time than anything, because that's not something that that high school backs necessarily take as seriously as they're going to ultimately have to at the college level. So is definitely an area that is good to get some work in and focus on and make sure you feel increasingly comfortable. I mean, now for high school level as well as long term.
Yeah. So basically, like it was a big thing first because like last year, that's where I got a good bit of my reps was in blocking. So it like became more comfortable for me to do it. And then like looking back at some of the film from last year, just seeing where I kind of slipped up at or like let people through, just trying to fix those, like critique those little mistakes.
How have you felt about some of the progress? You talked about the footwork, and we had a chance to see a little bit of that. You kind of working through some of the field work with the running backs after we got through the measurement portion and stuff like that on Friday. Have you noticed some of the progress in just kind of footwork and little quickness of step there?
Definitely. From like last year to this year, I feel like I move a lot more fluid than I did last year, just from all the, especially because of the work we put over the quarantine.
Uh, you went out there on Friday, measured out at 5'10" and a half, 190, a little over 198 pounds. Had the 10-foot broad jump, the 4.59 40, and the 4.25 shuttle. How'd you feel about the the day overall for you and some of what you were able to do with a lot of cameras on you?
I always feel like there's room for improvement, but like for my numbers, I feel like that's you know, a good numbers for me that I'm happy with. But my shuttle, I wish I could have got down a little bit because I've been working on that one. I feel like I could have got like a 4.21 or even like a 4.1. But my broad, I was happy with. My 40, I was happy with. And just the field work in general, I was pretty overall satisfied with it.
I think with you right up there at 200 and moving at in a 4 or 5 range in the 40, Coach Fertitta was getting pretty hype for you as he saw that the stopwatches.
Yeah, it was my 40, I've been working on it a lot, just trying to make sure my speed is, because speed is key in a lot of aspects of the for running back. So I was making sure that was a very good time for me.
And we'd asked you, I guess, as a bigger group on Friday about what your thoughts were on just the event as a whole and the opportunity to do that sort of thing. It was something that Coach Fertitta had reached out to a couple of us about a month ago, I guess, and was trying to gauge how useful that could be in terms of getting some more of y'all's information out under such weird circumstances that we've been dealing with from a recruiting side of things. How did you feel about just that opportunity for you and the teammates all to go, I mean, run 40s, get timed on 40s, which not all high schools do all the time, and know that there was there was an opportunity for some of that information to get out to colleges too?
I mean, it was great, like just because, we didn't have any camps. So like for everybody that wants to play at that next level, like this was like a big thing for people to show up and like perform at their best, which a bunch of people did. Like it like proved that it was very helpful. Like Shelton Sampson got picked up for his couple of offers over like the same day. So like it was a big help for everybody.
Yeah, Virginia made the really quick move on Shelton, and then I'm kind of talking to a couple people around the Southeast and realizing the Cavs were not going to be alone, and there were a few others to follow, and so now we're sitting 4 days later with 4 offers. Pretty exciting day for the youngster, still getting used to some of these conversations to have some colleges take notice.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
For you, McNeese State has been the first one to come in and extend an offer, and you had a chance to post kind of now that we're into August, the official offer, graphic. What have those conversations looked like? When did they reach out, and what have been some of the things that they've told you that they have had a chance to see of you so far and that they like and think would be a good fit in Lake Charles?
Like I wanted to visit to McNeese like last year and the year before, just like getting a feel for their campus. And I remember the day they offered, it was like early May they had offered me, or like late March. And the talk with Coach Frank he was just really excited to try to get me up there, and that like he liked my powerful running and like how I don't stop my feet on contact and just my running style as a whole. And they just want to get me up there so I can like help the program as a whole, just as with my skill set.
Hearing some of that from a guy like Frank Wilson, who, I mean, recruiting wise, certainly has a big name around the state, and also, has that background of working with some running backs. What is that like to have a conversation with a guy like Frank and hear him say he likes what he's seen from you and he would love you to come play for his college?
It was actually pretty amazing to hear that from him. Like I know all the guys he recruited, and like just hearing that from a guy with his expertise and like all his knowledge, and he's saying that I have potential like that, it means a lot coming from him.
And you know some guys, I'm sure, who have gone through out there, and a couple guys who are out that way or headed out that way now. Have you heard much since the McNeese offer from any of those former teammates or predecessors or friends or anybody that they're kind of telling you that that's a place to be too?
I haven't really talked to them much, but just from what I've seen personally, it looks like a pretty good school to be at.
What have you seen in terms of some of the other guys of this 2021 class that McNeese has gotten on board? Because since Frank came in, there has been kind of a little splashing in the New Orleans area where there are some pretty notable prospects from from around the area that have now committed to go play for the Cowboys. Have you noticed much of that in terms of just some of the success that Frank is already having on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, the people that he's been picking up are like very talented, and like it's pretty cool to see how he's trying to expand on the program. I should say, like he's doing a really good job.
Who have been some of the other schools you've had a chance to hear from a little bit? I know there are some other colleges that have you in mind as kind of a, they're still trying to evaluate senior year as you do get a chance to go out there and be one of the leaders in that Bears backfield. Who have been some of the schools that kind of have an eye on you so far, waiting to see a little bit more?
I know ULL, Southern, Tulane schools in like that area. Most Louisiana schools have had their eye on me. Just waiting to like see my first couple of games, see what I can do.
What's the outlook for whenever we get through some of this and get back out there on some Friday nights? Obviously, some key pieces back for you guys, including yourself, but also some big shoes to fill in some spots. Like I mentioned, a Josh or a Braelen or a JT at quarterback, or Connor, obviously, and everything that he's meant to that program. What's kind of the early mindset and goal setting and all of those things look like for you guys getting ready for another go round in the black and orange?
Of course, it's like some big spots to fill, but like our mindset is like, I mean, we just gotta keep pushing. Like we can't like marinate on like how many people we like have lost that have had big roles. We just gotta, take on those roles and just know our responsibilities and do what we know we can do, which is just ball out.
For any of the colleges that are kind of waiting to learn a little bit more about you, or getting a better sense of who you are, whether as a player or a young man, what's something about you or your personality or anything that maybe people don't know as much now and won't even have a chance to necessarily see specifically on a Friday night? Just kind of your opportunity to share a little bit more about yourself and who you are.
Me, like off the field, I'm a pretty cool, laid back guy, pretty easy to approach. But like on the field, like my mindset changes. Like I'm just in go mode. Like nothing should be able to stop me in my head. But yeah, I'm just a tough runner. That's about it.
You go from chill, laid back off the field to a little bit tough and nasty on the field when you get a chance to get out there and run or block.
Yes, sir.
Good deal, man. I love it. Well, George, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat about some of it with me. And certainly looking forward to seeing what this season holds, and as well as what the rest of the recruiting process and then college career up ahead looks like. Thanks again for chatting, man.
Thanks for interviewing me.
You got it, man. A pleasure. Again, he's George Hart III, getting ready for that senior year over at Catholic High in Baton Rouge. Has the McNeese State offer and is on the radar of several other programs, waiting to see him in an expanded role in his last go-round with the Bears. For Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser.